All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast. Today we have Jay Saberon. Did I get that right?
Yep.
All right.
Correct,
Cool.
man.
Cool. I'm terrible. I butchered everybody's names.
All
So
good. I do that all
okay.
the
Right. Right. Yeah. So I finally got to hang out with Jay a little bit and get to know him better than what I had in the past. We both work at East County for a couple of days a week. East County Bait and Tackle, and he's got a lot of stories to tell. And besides the fact that he's just well known big bass guy, you're going to be one of the first people on here that's not a tournament guy. You
I noticed
are,
that. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm all into the whole tournament thing, but there's like a contingent of you, like Rob and Casey and Jay and you and what used to be Mike Gilbert and whoever. But there's a bunch of you guys that don't fish tournaments.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so your primary focus as far as bass fishing is concerned is you're like a big bass guy, right?
Yeah. I just like trying to get the biggest fish out of the lake. It's just a goal that I've always had, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's your PB?
16 pounds, 4 ounces.
Is that right? I thought you had an 18 or something there.
I
But
wish, man. But I had a 16, and then the following year I had a 15.
oh, okay. Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. It was the same
And
fish, but it was a year apart, so I counted twice for sure.
so did it get? So you said it got smaller?
It did, but I did catch it post spawn the second time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
She was skinny.
Yeah, it's like that Otai fish, Mike Gilbert's fish, that was caught. How many times do you think that was caught?
Oh man, I don't know. I know Noe caught it right after on a frog, and it was like 13, and then
Dean?
Carlos caught it, who works at Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle,
Oh yeah,
on
okay.
a swim jig or something, burning it super fast, and it was 13 again.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then Dean caught it, right?
yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
how those big fish are. That's like there'll be like a handful of them that just get caught repeatedly, and then there's a ton of other ones
right,
that are just too smart for it.
yeah, they'll never bite.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
like a
Because
territory thing.
yeah, you can go back and look at statistics or what the studies do. They do it back east, and they show how many bass in the whole population, how many bass get caught and get caught repeatedly, and then
Yeah.
there's like this whole other population that never get caught,
Yeah.
and it's like this, like half of the fish.
It's crazy. I look back on a lot of my Miramar photos, and there's a lot of like 8 to 12 pounders in there, and
Mhm.
basically all of them are just repeat offenders.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I'll get one in the net and then pick it up. I'm like, oh, it's you again? I just caught
Yeah.
you a month ago on the same bait. I always thought growing up, that those big fish were just like, maybe you catch them once and then they don't bite for years or something, but it's
you
like,
would think so, yeah.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
had one fish in particular. It had a broken jaw right in the middle,
Uh-huh.
right? And so I caught it the first time, and it was 8.7, and then I was like, wow, dude, I don't know how this fish survived with the split bottom jaw like that. And then
Yeah.
3 weeks later, I caught it on the next stock. I caught it again.
No kidding. Wow.
It was a 1 pound bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself. Where'd you start? Where'd you start fishing? Did you
I
live in?
started
Oh,
bluegill fishing at 3 years old at Lake Cuyamaca. I probably didn't start bass fishing until 7 or 8 or something like that.
oh, so you know Cuyamaca pretty good then.
Yeah, that's kind of home base for sure.
Yeah. But you live, but you've lived in San Diego all your life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Yeah. When did you start saltwater fishing?
Fifth grade.
Yeah.
Yep, fifth grade. I went out of Hellgrins and caught a yellowtail. And
On the first time out?
second time, I got seasick
Yeah.
the first time.
Oh yeah. I remember my first time on the Some Fun out of Dana Point and I caught a bonita, and that was done. It was
Yep,
like
that's
gateway drug. I was
yep
done.
something that pulls hard, and it's just so exciting.
They it's, you can't even explain it to somebody how hard they pull. like
No,
yellowtail or any saltwater fish for that matter.
yeah, they pull. That thing had me around the anchor rope. Like I think the deckhands had the rod more than I did, but it's all right. We got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all right. That's all right. You got it. So you but you started running boats there for a while, right?
Yep, like my mid-20s, I started running boats.
So did you run sport boats or did you just run private boats or
Just
smaller?
mainly yachts, and I as far as the sport boats, I was just night driving here and there.
Hmm. And is that how you got into the whole swordfish thing?
Yeah, you'd always see them finning around, and you're like, that fish is uncatchable. That's just how I always looked at swordfish.
Yeah.
And then, I saw Nick Stanzik doing his thing out there, and I just always thought, like, why didn't people try it out here? And then people finally did, and it worked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
immediately transferred from like the chasing big bass in the lakes to the big one in the ocean.
Right. Yeah. So so how long have you chased those swordfish?
3 years.
And how many have you put on the boat?
5 for 8.
5 for 8. Yeah. They're still a pretty tough adversary.
Yeah, they fall off just left and right. There's just not many good places to put a hook in them.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you think the hooks tear out, or is it just you get the hooks back, right? Or do they break you off?
No, you get the hooks back. They just have like really soft mouths. It's
Yeah.
comparable to like a crappie. They just
Oh, no kidding.
yeah, they just rip right out. And
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the times you get them like wrapped it because you have a 100-foot leader, 150-foot leader or so. So they get wrapped
Yeah.
up in that thing all the time. And
Yeah. Yeah. What pound test lead are you using?
300 mono.
Oh yeah. I thought you might be using like 600 or something. That's pretty big though.
Yeah, 300 is pretty big. A lot of guys are using like 150, 200 fluoro. They get real fancy with it, and I've thought about fluoro, but I don't feel like I've needed it so far.
I don't know. I guess the Asian resistance or whatever, but if you're fishing at 1,000 point, I don't know.
Someone was saying that someone was saying because you have lights on your line that the light doesn't transfer through fluorocarbon like it does mono. So like for mono with your lights, it looks like a lightsaber. It has like the light streaking down all the lights, but I guess the fluorocarbon stops that. But I yeah, I haven't noticed.
All right.
I've been getting plenty bites.
Yeah. I thought I had one night. Man, I looked on the meter and there was a big mark under the boat, and I got up and it was for my watch, and we were just drifting out there on a tagging trip or whatever on the Shogun, and I grabbed a live squid out of the well and threw it out there, and it ate it. Man,
Wow.
I fought that thing. I fought it for like an hour, and I was smacking the gaff. Like, I was by myself. I was smacking the gaff against the house and stuff. Wake up! Wake up! And I could see it down there. It had a freaking big old bill, and it was big. It was big, whatever. And the guys got up. They got the gaffs ready, and I winded up, and they're like, they stand there and they look at me, and I'm like, what? Gaff it. Then I look over the side, and it's like a striped marlin. And I was like, God damn.
Oh wow! At night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing.
I would have thought it was a sortie too.
Yeah, I was fooled. I was so stoked. I was so excited. Yeah.
I know. I saw a couple of those guys. I know Ryan Block was running a trip, and at night they had a 250 on a knife jig.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
They got that big blue marlin too.
Yeah,
Ryan did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. That was a big son of a gun. That was when all those blue marlin were up here.
Yeah, that was wild.
So anyway, back to the bass fishing. You're not like a live bait guy. You're just like strictly artificial big baits kind of thing.
Yeah. I definitely started out like live bait fishing when I was a kid, and then I realized that like you could a lot of times just do more damage with the lure in certain situations.
How many? How'd you do last year? This last season, big fish season.
I really just had one big bedfish, and that was it. Like, last couple of years, I just stayed at Hodges a lot, before they closed the ramp. So,
yeah,
a lot of 8-pounders, a lot of 8-pounders.
Do you think? I mean, do you think there's a good amount of giant fish in Hodges, like teeners, or is it just like 8-pounders?
I think there's a lot of like 6 to 8s.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of 6 to 8s because I mean, like you take those 8s and they're all 23 plus, 23 to 26-inch fish.
Yeah.
So
you don't see the great big 30-inch, 28-inch fish in there.
Not too often now. Not like it was. It seemed like there was a point where there was like several guys and they were on like fishing rats in there and they were catching double digits regularly.
Oh yeah.
For a couple of years, yeah.
That was a while ago, and that was way before the water went down, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like even going there as a kid, like 10s were so common. It was just all the time. Like the first time I went there, a buddy of mine was flipping a robo worm in the Toolies when it had a bunch of Toolies there, and
yeah,
the first 10 minutes of fishing, he had a 10.6. So it was like, whoa, that was kind of like life changing too. That was like first double digit artificial fish I ever saw.
Yeah.
Punching the Toolies. It was pretty intense.
Yeah. I got to fish Hodges when I was a teenager back in the 80s, but man, we were coming down from Hemet. I grew up in Hemet, and we didn't know anything.
Right.
You know, we had no idea. We just knew that 5 pounds was big, 6 pounds was really big, and we never saw anything that was there that I know now that was there. I really, but I was a kid. Anyway, that's my excuse.
Yeah, Hodges was a special place.
Yeah,
it really was.
So you're super into Instagram.
Yeah.
So I looked you up on Facebook and I couldn't find you, but I look over on Instagram and you have like 10,500 followers.
Yeah. I really spent the last year I really like kind of put a little bit of effort into it. I was almost there, but then I kind of gave up for a while and was just over it.
Yeah.
But then companies started reaching out and I was just like, oh, let's keep it going.
Yeah, maybe there's something to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, wow. I don't know. You're really good at video.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Getting the shots and then putting it out and editing and that whole 9 yards. So it helps. And then you have a lot of you've posted a lot. You have 1,300 posts on there.
I know.
That's a lot.
It is. It's an old account though. I've had it since 2012, so it's not like I didn't blow up overnight or anything. It was a long work in progress.
Yeah. It's pretty good. So you've branded yourself Fishing with Jay.
Yep.
That's cool. You gotta have that. So why did you go with and Instagram instead of Facebook?
Yeah, it was just newer, and I feel like there was a larger audience.
Yeah, it's probably you already had it started too, huh?
Yeah, and all those big companies, they just use it for their advertising, so just kind of wiggle your way in there somewhere.
Right. So, tell me a big bass story.
Big bass story?
Yeah. Or we could talk about crappie.
Ooh.
I opened the can of worms. You don't have to tell me where, but have you been catching big crappie lately?
Yeah, it's been pretty good last couple of months. I've been telling you at work, so yeah. Little tiny spot that's like 10 by 10, but it was just, there had to been hundreds of them right there.
And big ones?
Yeah, big ones.
White and blacks?
Yeah, both.
Really? Wow. Those black ones are cool looking.
Oh, they're so cool. Yeah, they're just over there eating the white crappie. It's pretty
yeah. I'd like to get a big black crappie mount. That would be.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to go with you one of these days. What's your so how do you go about catching crappie here? Do you fish a bobber and a jig, or you fly line jigs?
Yeah, either one. Either one.
It's pretty standard.
Yeah, just slip bobbers.
Yeah.
Very effective. Just hangs right in their face.
It's the depth is the important part, right?
It really is, yeah, because they vertical feed looking up, so you got to make sure you're above them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just the most important part. You could be 2 feet above them, that's fine. You know,
yeah.
They'll swim up there and grab it.
As long as you're not below them.
Yeah, if you're below them, they don't even know you're there.
Yeah. 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 It was super important too, fishing in that manner with trout. Trout were and midges, you know, and indicators like up at Crowley or really any lake, Wolford even. You got to get it. You could be inches off of a where your midge placement was, length from your bobber, your bottom midge, and the guy next to you would be catching 2 to 1, 3 to 1. You know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how they are that way. Well, gosh darn, Jay, we got 19 minutes here. It's starting to get hot.
Tell them about your wahoo.
Yeah.
Tell me about your wahoo.
You want to know about the wahoos? The one time I took the wife fishing, man, no, it was working on the prime time.
Yeah.
The 45-foot Pacifica. We went out to the rock pile below the Coronado Islands because Steve on the Mission Bell was like, "Oh, I was down there yesterday and we lost 26 yo-yo lures on one drop." And I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Went down there, fished in 80 feet, and had 7 of them. It was pretty wild.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Trolling over the rock pile in 80 feet of water.
So did your wife get one?
She didn't reel one in, but she watched. And but before that, we had limits of Dorado, Yellowtail, and Yellowfin, and then we slid into the rock pile from like the 425 or whatever it was.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, what a day.
Yeah. So she's, "Oh, this is normal, right?"
That's good. I remember that year we only caught, I think we caught 3 total.
Gotcha.
For all year, and we were outside hitting kelp patties and whatnot. You'd think we would have caught a bunch, but we didn't. But we did catch a few. That was a pretty special year. That was fun. That was some good kelp patty fishing.
Yeah, and the legend went down the next day and had 27 or 29 or whatever it was.
I remember he caught a bunch of those around North Island, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Like in the middle grounds.
Yeah, I didn't even think about to take bait and throw bait at those things to get them more fired up, but that's what they were doing.
Yeah, he had. That was kind of like a special charter too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was. It was all crew.
Yep.
So they were ready.
Yeah, they were ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't get them to eat the casting jigs, but they did. I don't know. We fished them on the slide every time. We just never got a bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty special. They even got them on Sacramento Island that year.
I know, they were everywhere. We caught one out there too on a kelp patty. This one kelp we had limits of yellowfin, limits of dorado, some skipjack, a blue marlin, and a wahoo.
Oh, you caught a blue marlin that year too?
Yeah, we had 2.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Was it pretty big?
The one on the kelp patty wasn't. It was like 200 or somewhere around there. Looked like. And then the one we caught trolling was like 4. It was big.
Yeah.
Right on the 9.
They're pretty impressive when they get that big and bigger.
They're massive.
Yeah, we used to catch them on the anchor down south, you know, at Clarion and whatnot. Hang a blue or a black or whatever.
That's wild.
There wasn't. I mean, we landed a few of them, but for the amount that we landed, you didn't even stand a chance, and there would be guys with like 80 whites and just get dumped, like dumped, like I don't know how big they were, 600 pounds or
Probably.
500 or 800 or who knows how big they were really. Man, they just start taking off and greyhounding towards the horizon. It was like, wow, that's an impressive animal. I remember one time there was one came up and ate a bait on the stern, like he ate a scad mackerel or whatever, and it ate it, and we saw it eat it, and it was like, oh, you got a marlin, and the thing just went straight down, and the guy's rod is just buckled over the rail, like full rollers and everything is just buckled just straight down, and the next thing you know, with his line is still going down. The marlin comes up like literally like 300 yards away and is jumping while his rod is still buried. Like there was so much loop, so much drag in the line, and he went down so deep and came back up so fast that the rod was still going straight down. I was like, man, this is out of our hands. Like we can't 200-pound tuna all day long, but man,
I know, right? Yeah.
you start messing with those things and it's like gnarly.
Yeah, billfish are different for sure.
Yeah. And we always had this bad, this bad like striped marlin. Oh, they don't fight very hard and whatever. And because we'd go in and catch them off of Mag Bay, but then, and they were like 100-pounders or 90-pounders or 110s, and they're a 100-pound animal, but still, they didn't fight all that great on conventional gear with big trolling gear or whatever. But once you got into those big ones down south, that was really something. That was an eye opener.
Yeah, those are next level fish for sure.
Yeah. It was really interesting to see him up here. So you fish a lot of the little lakes, and you did it.
I do.
You did it with your what was that called? That round thing?
The ultra skiff.
The ultra skiff. That's right.
Yeah, the bass had no idea what that thing was at first. I would have giant ones just like swimming next to me while I was swim bait fishing, just hanging out. I was just like, oh wow.
Is that right?
Yeah, like I was a buoy.
Yeah, probably, huh?
Yeah.
But it allowed you to get right in there. I mean, it had a trolling motor on it.
Yeah.
But,
and you know how the lakes are, they're always closing the launch ramps randomly, so I would just slide that thing down the bank and have a lake to myself. It was really nice a lot of times.
Yeah.
Especially Murray.
Yeah, like right now, are they allowing anything on Murray right now?
Kayaks, float tubes.
Kayaks and float tubes.
Yeah.
Just whatever you can get from your car to the water and floats, basically.
But I took my kayak out there not too long ago, and it was way better from the shore. I ended up parking the kayak and just fishing from the shore.
I guess the news is out. I mean, granted, it was in the newspaper and whatever, and I'm starting to see updates on my Facebook. But have you been to Miramar since it opened?
I haven't. I almost went, and my buddy was in line and said there were 6 boats, and that's like 50 at cap.
Yeah.
So I might just wait till it gets cold to go there.
So I was looking on the pictures, and the pictures show that great big pipeline all the way that stretches like halfway out into the lake.
Yeah.
Does that float on the surface, or did that sink?
It's placed on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I keep looking at that and being like, man, that's going to be a hell of a kick if you're in a float tube, and much less, on a trolling motor to go fish Escondido or back there and then try to get around a Moe's hole or whatever the other Thule line.
Yeah, no, they just set up a string of buoys in the middle marking the pipe, and it just says no anchoring, so you don't pop with your anchor.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what is your understanding on what are they doing? What are they doing at Miramar?
They're just making it a purified water reservoir, and same with Jennings.
So what does that mean?
I have no idea. Just I don't know. I know they want to be self-sufficient for water.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure on all that. I just heard biology reports on how it just kills off the plankton.
Well, from the what I heard or what somebody told me was that they're going to be pumping sterile water in there. So instead of, most of our lakes get their water from the Colorado River or the aqueduct, and that water river or the river water is basically alive. It has stuff in it, much less it has fish in it too, but
Sure.
it's nutrient rich,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
So then, but this stuff that they're going to be pumping into Miramar, which I don't know where it's coming from. Well, I do know where it's coming from. I mean, so they're treating it, making it sterile, and then they're pumping it into Miramar as a holding tank, I guess.
Right.
I wonder if they're going to be putting any more river water in there. Like from the Colorado River or from San Vicente or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But I would imagine they're going to start doing DFG census on fish take.
Yeah, they're doing that now. I mean, just the city workers. They're every person that comes in and buy a permit, they wait a little bit and then they go check them and ask them what they caught.
Yeah.
They have a little tablet they're recording all the information on.
Yeah. How much trout did you see stocked in like Murray or Miramar last year? Or
Miramar got one stock before the truck driver was just kind of over dealing with the construction going on. I don't think they were in after a certain point.
Yeah.
So they were just going to Murray and Jennings and Cuyamaca for the most part. And Murray was pretty consistent. It was 600 or so pounds every other week. Every now and again they would.
Oh, really?
Every now and again they would lag an extra week or so. So sometimes you have to wait 3 instead of 2. But there was guys taking limits of trout home pretty regularly. It was good to see.
How big were those trout?
They were anywhere from, I saw some as small as 6 inches to I mean, there were some larger ones too, up to like probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 pounds or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
decent size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've started that letter writing campaign to Matt and the DFW about trout plants.
Yeah.
I have this wild idea that if we start writing letters again, making our voice heard for increased angling opportunity for the general public, as far as trout goes, and start putting pressure on them, then maybe we'll see more trout plants, and maybe even see trout plants in some of the bigger reservoirs too, maybe. But
that'd be the best.
That's a long ways away, and we really have to start getting people on our side to do that.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great, and we got to figure out some way to get people to report their catches.
Yeah. And I think we know where we failed last time, and that was one of the major reasons why they stopped planting trout in Lower Otay, San Vicente, and El Cap, was because nobody reported any catches.
Yeah.
And the trout aren't there. Obviously, the trout aren't there to feed bass. The trout are there to be caught by fishermen.
Yep.
So when we don't report it, then what's the use of putting trout in there from the state?
Yeah.
Now those trout stocks that I was asking you about, those were from the DFG. Were those from the state?
Yep, those were from the state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so Cuyamaca also gets those?
Yeah, they get those, and then they do whatever private stocking, Mount Lassen or Jess Ranch or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think they used Jess Ranch last year.
Do you know if Poway and Dixon get state fish?
They don't, no.
I didn't think they did.
No, they're all private.
And somebody told me that they had talked to the DFG, maybe it was you, and they referred you, as far as I'm going to go trout fishing in my local lakes. And then they referred you to Dixon and Wolford.
They did, yeah. When I was requesting, because I was watching Pyramid and Castaic get, because I have friends that live up there, and I mean they were getting what we used to get, over a decade ago. They were
thousands of pounds.
Yeah, every other week consistently, not getting skipped ever, not getting shorted ever. Because I mean, there's times where I'll see the truck show up to Murray, and I go talk to the guy, and I'm like, what are you going to put in here? And he'll say 600 pounds, and then he opens the gate, and it's just nothing but water for the first 30, 40 seconds, and then like a little bit of trout comes out, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Just sometimes it just didn't seem like 600. It seemed like 600 pounds of water more than trout,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you were doing that on a weekly basis, 600 is plenty. 600 is quite a bit, or maybe even every other week, 600 would be great. I mean, that would be 1,200. That'd be 1,200 pounds a month. That'd be quite a bit.
Yeah, like Lake Skinner, they get private stock, but they only do 600 every time.
Is that right?
Yeah, and that place, I mean, you see,
it kicks them out. It's good trout fishing.
They get, There's plenty of trout to go around. It's just from 600 pounds, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah. So we're not really asking for a lot, but it would be nice to see more lakes get it.
Yeah.
The San Vicente and the El Cap and even Otay. I'm pushing for San Vicente. And I think San Vicente would be the easiest to get them to agree with because of the shoreline access, just right there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, that was the hot spot. We just go right by the boat ramp and put your Carolina rig power bait out there and catch all you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same at Diamond Valley.
Yeah, that used to be one of the best trout lakes to go trout fishing in San Vicente.
Well, San Vicente, yeah. And now that it's so deep, I think there could be chance of holdovers.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. You could actually troll for them in the summer or, late spring and early fall. You actually go out there and troll for them and catch them.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah. So anyway, I've started doing that. I know you've been doing that. If anybody's interested, they can get a hold of me and you can DM me or IM me or do whatever. I'm pretty easy to find on Facebook and Instagram. And I can point you in the right direction with the addresses and whatnot.
Yeah,
so let me know.
The more people that reach out, it helps greatly. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It makes them feel like there's a need for it because
yes,
they feel like there's a need for it, they're not going to bring it.
And it's the other thing was the increased license sales that we had in 2020. There's a heck of a lot more fishermen out there. They stopped stocking trout a long time ago, way before 2020. So now with this increased anglers and the amount of anglers and license sales, I think now's our time.
Exactly. I mean, Matthew told me that the ocean enhancement stamp goes to the trout stocking.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned in an email one time.
Yeah.
So with all these license sales, the money should be there for equal opportunity for the whole state.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if we're just too far out of the way down south from where the hatcheries are at, where it's just a kind of a pain or what. I don't know what the real issue is, but
that shouldn't even be an issue.
It shouldn't. Like the money's there.
I think it is.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, So we're gonna have to delve into that. I know the Friends of the Lakes, the group that I'm a part of, they're all for it. So we're gonna be looking into that.
Yeah, maybe like set up some kids derbies or something.
Yeah. That's something.
That's a really good way to get a lump sum.
Yeah.
Because
and obviously what we're saying, if we have trout, everybody on this channel probably already knows this too, but if trout are introduced to the lakes, then the bass do get bigger. And granted, I'm all for that. I think it's great, and I'd like to see 30-pound limits as a regular thing come out of El Capitan again. And but at the same time, we do have to go out of the route of increased angling opportunity for the general public.
Exactly. That's number one for sure.
Yeah.
That's number one. Because if you mention bass to them, they're just going to turn off of it super quick.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I enjoy catching those trout. So.
Me too. Take your fly rod out there. They're fun. They're a fun little quarry.
Yeah. That's a good fallback when the bass aren't biting. You're just like, all right, I'll go trout fish for an hour and go home or whatever it is. And
the fly fishermen talk about it all the time, going out to Murray back in the backs of those coves, and they catch and release. And I'll get those fly guys on it. Did you know that the San Diego fly anglers, it's like the biggest fly angling club in the United States?
No way, really?
Yeah, they have like 300 members.
Wow.
Yeah. They're actually like a force to be reckoned with. They're working on Upper Otay and get an aerator put in there.
Oh, sweet.
And some other stuff. Yeah, they're really trying hard. They're working at it.
Oh, that'd be cool to see that place come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
Yeah. Well, they have to first of all, they have to figure out what happened exactly and then prevent that from happening again before they make improvements on the lake.
Right.
So bring it back to life. That was a real shame. That was some big fish in there. Yeah, that was the most pure strain of Florida bass that we had in California on the West Coast, was in that pond. That's where they all came from, was that pond. From there they went to Hodges. And that's why Hodges was then Hodges was the second most pure, and that's why Hodges fish went to Diamond Valley. One reason Diamond Valley's fish are so big is because it came out of Hodges.
Yep, and they all look the other. You can tell when you're holding them. You're like, oh, you look like you should be in Hodges. Whenever I'm at Diamond.
Yeah. I got to go there tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I got a guide trip. And here we are again. Otay is closed.
Oh,
what is this? The second Wednesday of the month, Otay is closed, and it's just absolutely fire.
I know.
Like no brainer. My clients are coming from in San Diego, and they're going fishing. They've chartered three boats, me and Todd Klein and another boat, Jeff Fogel, and we all have to go up to Diamond Valley to go fishing.
Jeez. It's only open 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And they cut a day.
And then they cut a day on top of that.
You already have 4 cut days out of every week. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Thank God it's open year round. I mean, God, we were so close to losing so much.
I know.
Now we're like back to square one. Now we're back to the step. So we got that closure past us. We got the money from the county, but now we're back to where we started, like literally. Right. Where now we can start looking at trout plans and trying to get the lakes open, get that day back for the lakes to be open.
I know. I almost went to Murray today, but it was closed.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot they even closed Murray.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Dang, I didn't think they ever closed Murray.
I woke up this morning. I was like, I'm going to go over there and walk around for a bit and catch a couple, hopefully. And, no.
Yeah. No.
Not today.
Who patrols that? I guess the lake staff?
Yeah, just the lake staff.
They'll come down and tell you it's closed? Or you can't buy a ticket? You can't buy a permit. That's probably what it is.
I think they always got the envelopes in there, but I don't know. I just don't even bother with it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth getting a ticket. I mean, the DFG shows up there and you're like fishing. And it's more. I bet it'd be way more than $100.
Yeah, they're always there too.
Are they?
Yeah, they're always. Yeah, they're there a lot.
Yeah, it would make sense. All right, Jay. Well, we did it. We made it to 40 minutes. So I'm good with that.
Sounds good to me.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. Really appreciate it. Keep catching those big ones. And if you want to follow Jay, you go Fishing with Jay is his brand, and go to his IG, J Saberon Fishing. Is that what it is?
It's J underscore and then my last name Saberon.
Saberon. Okay. Yeah, go follow him. He's got some tremendous big bass on there. A lot of them. A lot. And he's got some good video too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on there. Crappie, bass, swordfish, tunas, yellowtail tunas, you name it.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard you caught one of those.
Yeah, dude, it pulled too hard.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you at the shop. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. All right. See you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. See ya.
Bye.